What do we have here? Possibly the best overall model value in pocket knives today. That's the QSP Penguin. They come in so many different varieties and materials and finishes and colors and styles and okay, I take that back. They're mostly the same style, but they even have like a mini penguin and an extra large penguin. They have different sizes. Look at the finish on this one. This is the mark where I'm going to cut this blade down a little bit and make it a little more of a nice rounded sheep's foot instead of this up and cornered sheep's foot. So that's going to be, at least that's an idea. I haven't for sure said I'm going to do it, but I think I have. Man, the action on this one is just really nice. Not quite drop shutty, but super smooth shake shutty. I mean, like glass smooth. Really, really nice. Pretty nice sound too. For a small knife. I think they're 3.1, 3.2. I got a little measuring thingy majigger right here. I'm going to say, yeah, right around 3.1. So a hair over 3 inches. Could easily just take the tip down a little bit if you live in a place where 3 inches or under, and you're not going to have some huge knife that you had to cut down and lost a bunch of length on. You could just take that tip or the whole end and cut it back just about, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch, and you're going to be within the law then. So, some of us don't care about that shit, but some do. So if that's your thing, you could do that. It would have been maybe smarter of them to do it just a hair under 3 inches, but I appreciate the extra length, just like she does. This is a blue variant of the exact same thing. The detent's a little bit lighter on this one. So, I mean, these are $30 knives, $35 knives that are made out of, decent materials, D2 steel. Supposedly, from what I understand, pretty well done D2 steel. Micarta. I mean, micarta was like a premium finish a few years ago. Now it's on $30 knives with D2 steel. Polished liners. Okay, polished clip. I think it has a D-shaped pivot. Not 100% sure, but it looks like it does. Thumb studs are great. They only stick out a little bit past the side of the handle. This is a really, really great value in a pocket knife. Now, is it a little bit simplistic in design? Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, it's a full-size knife, on the small side of full size. You'd say it's a medium, small, medium. It's not a small knife, but it's a little smaller than a medium-sized knife. Whatever the hell that is. I got these guys all sitting here surrounding this cute little penguin sticker that you get when you buy one of these things. You get like some stickers. Let me see what's in here. This is a penguin box, right? I think. You get a sticker, you get another sticker, another QSP with a wolf on it. Pretty neat. Like that guy. You get some kind of card. You get a box that's actually pretty nice. I mean, look at that box. It's a nice box, man, for a $30 knife. Now this one is the titanium variant here, and I've done a little work to the blade to make it a little more pointy. Let's compare to the stock blade. So this one had the stock blade just like this before. Let's not use that one because it's already got stupid lines drawn on it that are confusing. Use the green guy here. So, slightly different blade finish. I mean, I didn't change the blade finish on this guy. I just cut that top line there and made this a little more pointy there. So you can kind of see what I did. And you can see that this is a belt satin finish on this guy. And then this one was a tumbled finish all over on this guy originally. Great action on these micarta ones with the steel liners, and even better action on the titanium one. So it is as it should be, you know. You pay 110, 120 bucks for a knife like this one in titanium frag. You hope that the action's a little better than the $30 knife. Obviously, you're paying a premium on the materials. Is the blade different, or is it D2? Yes, 154 cm. So you're getting 154 cm, very good blade steel. Better rust resistance than the D2. I think the hardness, or edge retention's close to D2, maybe not quite, but it has, I think it has even toughness with D2, and I don't know, someone fucking correct me. How does 154 compared to D2? I think we consider it a more rounded and better steel in general. But man, really good action. Just really close to drop shedding. Titanium clip on this guy. The other ones have actually a pretty nice clip on the budget models. It's recessed down. The little screw heads are showing, but man, they're rounded and they're not going to get in the way of anything. It's that really good curve down and then barely back up shape that pretty much is the way you want it. That's the best shape for a pocket clip, especially if it's going to be a bent steel pocket clip like these. Nice and smooth, just great in and out of the pocket. Put one in right now. That was another knife coming out. Just terrific. Terrific pocket clip. A lot of budget knives go bad with the pocket clip. All you have to do is have a bad pocket clip and you make it so no one wants to carry the stupid knife. Just great knives. So what we're going to do here at Pry Bar Knives is give away, not this one. I'm not even going to front like that might be one of the giveaways. It's not. That's mine. I love it. It's like, one of my favorite little smaller knives. We are going to, I'll put them in a triangle formation because that is what their little symbol is. The QSP symbol is like a little triangle guy. So I'm going to give away one of these guys right here. We're going to give one of these away. We're going to give away 4 knives, and one of these is going to be one of them. I think this one is not going to be it, because I have a friend who wants to try out one, and he's a friend who, has lent me, dozens of, well, maybe not dozens, but lots and lots of knives to review. So since he wanted the green, he gets the green. So that one's out. So basically it's going to be between these two. And I think I'm going to let whoever wins pick. There's going to be 4 knife levels basically. And maybe one of the levels will just be a knife that you don't get to pick between. But at this level, at the Penguin level, I'm going to do a couple of mods on both of these. And then the winner gets to pick from whichever one of these 2 they like. So it's going to be, one of them is going to be a blade trim like this. And the other one might be a blade trim a little bit more like this. So maybe I'll do the blue guy a little bit more like this. Yeah, I'm not sure. Whatever I come up with doing, I'll show it, and then you will see. Maybe I'll work on this one and come back and put this one being done on the end of this video. Maybe we'll do a little dye on the micarta too. All right, I'll be back. So this is a 1x30 grinder, or belt sander. You can get these for like 50 to 75 bucks, on the cheap side. And what I'm doing is I'm just slowly working this angle down until it's a little more the way I want it, a little more sharp. And I'm holding on to it to where I can feel the heat transferring from the friction into the steel. And as soon as I feel the heat on my fingers, I go ahead and dunk it in and cool it off. So it never gets hot enough to damage the steel because it's not even hot enough to hurt me. You know, there's other ways to do that, but I just use my fingers to hold on to it and feel it. And as soon as I feel heat, I get rid of the heat. So sometimes I use ice in this water to really, you know, cool it down a lot, but this doesn't really need it. It's going to work fine like it is. So we'll see how this thing comes out. Took a little break from doing the blade cut and did a little oval kind of cut here so you can reach the so your thumb can reach the thumb stud a little bit easier, and so you can reach the other side thumb stud for a reverse flick if you wanted to do that, or if you were using it left-handed so you could reach it with your left thumb. And we'll tidy those up a little bit when I have the scales off to stain that, or to dye them. So that'll get tidied up. We'll, you know, touch up those edges with some hand sandpaper and make it look good. But I think that's all I'm going to do on the micarta. All right, back to the grind. So I'm taking this belt off. I'm going to put on a little bit finer belt to finish up that cut. All right, so that top cut is done. Okay, it ain't perfect, but we'll go over a little hand sandpaper to perfect it. There's no cross lines left. Now all the lines are up and down, which is the way I want it. It's wider at this part than it is down here, just because this part has already been beveled right here, and I need to bevel this part now, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so we got that side done. Yeah. So that'll do that part. So we got this little bevel that was at the top edge here. We got it continued down all the way almost to the tip, close enough to the tip, just the tip. And then I'm just going to hand sand it down like this, back and forth. Try to leave all of this alone. Try to keep the sandpaper from touching this and scratching up this part. So we're just working on the spine, kind of rounding it off, making it smooth, and then it'll be done. Well, that part will be done. So I touched up the blade with some hand sandpaper. I'm not sure if it's focusing or not. I'm going to move this thing back a little bit. Made sure the bevel was nice and smooth all the way down. The spine's nice and smooth. And I'm kind of a stickler for not wanting to make the blade any shorter if I don't have to. Now, obviously, if you want to make the blade shorter, that's perfectly fine. But when I cut this down, I made sure not to take any of the original tip, to the extent that the very last bit of the blade tip here is the original tip. So it kind of comes down, 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 and then it turns into the original tip. So the blade is done. Disassembly flashback. So QSP is using Loctite on some of their screws. As you can see, the little blue bit right there. Let's put it in my hand, maybe. Well, maybe it's hard to see. There we go. There's the blue bit. That's blue Loctite on the screw. So when you're getting some of these out, you'll run into this issue. Here's the standoff, and there was a screw holding it, you know, holding this side of the scale onto it, And then the only one that's left is on this side, right? So once I try taking this one off, you can see the standoff is just spinning because the screw is Loctited into that standoff. So there's a few different things you can do. You can put this back on the other side, put the screw back on the other side and tighten it in. It's nice and snug. Then you get this one out. The other one will hold everything still so you can pull this one out. Now that usually works. There's usually no issue with that because you've already defeated the Loctite on this one, so it's already kind of looser in there. So once this one's out, then you can usually pull this one out just fine. There's another trick though. The standoff itself is in between these two pieces of metal, and if you pinch them together nice and hard, you're going to cause enough friction to where you might be able to get that screw to come loose. So we're going to try that. I can't tell. Okay, yep, so it's coming loose. So I've just pinched that standoff between the two pieces of metal as hard as I can, basically. And then the screw comes loose. So there's no bearings in this QSP Penguin. That's one way they save a little money and simplify everything. And the order of the washers probably matters. I don't know, maybe it doesn't, who knows. But the order of the washers as it sits is 2 copper washers, or they're bronze, I think, washers. And they sit against the inside of the not the frame, the liner. And then the plastic washer sits against the blade. So if you take it all apart and get them all switched around, that's the way you want to put it back together. Now, what if you put the plastic washer in between the 2 bronze washers? Would it matter? I don't know. Probably not. But that's the way they got it. So that's the way I'll put it back together. Now on to the dyeing. So this is the red dye, the red RIT dye. I use a pretty heavy mix of it. Like I don't really know what the recommended mix is. I just pour the whole bottle into a container, and then I add some water to it, and then I keep it in that larger container. You know, like this is the lid of that container. So I don't use their original bottle after I use it once. So this is a whole bottle of red plus some water. Like maybe 50-50, probably more like 60-40 with the dye being the 60. So it's real strong. And that means I don't have to hold it in very long for it to take a nice color. For the heat, I have it up fairly high right now, but I'm going to turn it down as soon as I start seeing some motion in the water, as soon as I start seeing thermal, like I want to say thermal venting, but I'm pretty sure that was from Aliens when the nuclear reactor was venting. So it's like, what is it called? Convection. It's called convection. That's what it's called. Sorry, I had to look at my convection oven to remember the word. Alright, so I think it's pretty close to ready now. Let's see. I think it's about ready. So, I'm going to put these guys in handle first. And, oh, I need to get a cup of cold water. For some reason, cold water kind of sets the dye where it is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in handle first. And I'm going to just put in the end, because this is going to be like a fade. And I'm going to stir it around a little bit, kind of see what I get. Okay, it looks like it's, I think it looks like it's taking. And I'm going to shove it in. That's what, I'm going to shove it in deeper. Make your own jokes here and see how much it turns red above. So I can do a quick all the way in and then back out. A little of the old in and out. And then I'm going to put it in the ice water and see what stays. Okay, so yeah, it's looking almost sort of a pinkish color. So we'll hit that again. So about half of it is red. I'm looking for a little more than half, so I'm going to get in there a little bit more. And see, I'm holding the lower part in there for longer because I want it to be darker, and the upper part just for a few seconds at a time, and then kind of fading down into the lower part where I'm holding it in for a lot longer. So I think that top part is just about the way I want it, but I'm going to get a little bit darker on the bottom part. And then eventually I'm going to put some purple in here and do a little purple right at the bottom. Okay, I think that's about what I want. All right, so we're going to call it a day on the red. So now we have the purple. And I'm just taking this very bottom end and putting it in the purple. Just getting it to stir just a little bit. Just darkening that bottom. I'm doing it at an angle, just like I did the top one at an angle. It just kind of has a nice look to it. All right, I think it's looking pretty good. Doesn't take long with this deep purple. Band reference intended. Okay, yeah, I think that's okay. It's looking really good. Okay, turn that purple off. Man, sometimes I hate it when a mod goes this well. Because I kind of want to keep it now, and it's supposed to be a giveaway knife. So let's compare. What all did we do here? We did the blade trim to make it a little bit more aggressive. We did the cutaway here in the micarta to make the access to the thumb stud and to the lock a little easier. We did a bevel on the lock so that your thumb presses against not so sharp of an edge. It's just really comfy now to unlock. Not that this one's bad, but it's a little more pointy, that's all. We did the dye on the micarta. So we got a red fade down to a purple fade. And that's it. Didn't do any other things to it, but I really like the way it looks. It just came out really nice. Glassy smooth. So anyway, this will be one of the giveaway knives for the attaining 400 subscribers. We attained 400 subscribers here at Prybar Knives, and the channel is about a year old, so it's kind of like our 1-year anniversary of actually trying to make videos to get people to you know, watch them. Before that, you know, the channel's been around for many years, just as a goofy thing that I didn't really try hard at all. Like one of the original videos is looking at some Bear Grylls knives made by Gerber way back in the day and how shitty they were. Or how okay they were, you know, compared to other things at the time. How shitty they would be today, though, compared to even a $30 knife, and it was like a $50 or $60 knife back then. And it was FRN plastic and junk steel. Anyway, this is giveaway knife number 1 of the 4 we're going to be giving away. These others, the green one's definitely not involved. The blue one may be involved. I may do that one too, or I may pick something else like maybe this modified QSP Hawk. I think it's called a Hawk. That is a front flipper. That is the one and only front flipper, because I made it into a front flipper and it wasn't a front flipper before. So stay tuned for the rest of the giveaway knives, see what they are, and then eventually, in I don't know, in a few days, we'll have the giveaway where we give away all 4 knives to 4 different great commenters on that video, whatever that video is. Not this video. You can comment on this video. I'd love you to comment on this video, but this isn't the giveaway video. So there'll be one giveaway video for all 4 knives, which these are not them yet. This one definitely isn't them. These 2 might be. We'll see. Might do these 2. This one maybe. Who knows? I got some other ones too. And then there's the titanium frame lock Tucson that's going to be like the grand prize, whatever. We're still going to mod that one too. So stay tuned and have a nice day.